Okay, so we have another question here. It says that the force has been applied to two wires P and Q until the wire breaks. Each wire is made up of different material, which means it has different Young modulus. The stress strain graph is shown. Which of the following statement is correct? Okay, so option A says P has a greater breaking stress than Q. This is actually incorrect because P has less breaking stress than Q, as you can see from here. So option A is incorrect. Option B says P has greater breaking strain than Q. So this is also incorrect, as you can see from the graph that Q has a much greater breaking strain than P. So option B is incorrect. Option C says that the P has the greater yield stress than Q. What is meant by yield stress? Yield stress is basically the amount of stress that a material can take before it starts to deform, right? So basically it's these 2 points. So as you can see that P can withhold a lot of stress than Q. So this option is actually correct, right? So let's take the other last option as well. It says the P has the lower Young modulus than Q. So how would we know that which one has the greater Young modulus or less Young modulus without the values, right? So as you know, the formula for Young modulus is equals to stress by strain. So if we have a greater stress, then we have a greater Young modulus. If we have a less stress, then we also have a greater Young modulus. As you can see from the graph of P, that it has a greater stress, right? So it adds up the Young modulus part, and a less strain, so it also adds up the Young modulus part, right? So a greater stress and less strain, but over here it has less stress and a little bit more strain than the P, right? So as you can see that the value for P will result in having a greater Young modulus than Q, right? So your final option is C.